Okay, good morning. My name is Michael Jones. I am the president of Team A BlueTech. We're pleased to welcome you to our February BlueTech Global Connect monthly webinar. This one is on anti-fouling, anti-biofouling, and we think you're going to hear some great presentations. Next, please. Every month we have a different topic. Last month was ocean plastics and circular economy. This month is anti-biofouling. March will be water wastewater in the circular economy. In April, it will be BlueTech space in the circular economy. And in May, and that should be with NASA, and then in May, likely with our partners in at the National Oceanography Center in the UK, ocean sensors in the circular economy. And I think you get a sense of we're talking a lot about the circular economy. So that is our theme for our BlueTech Global Connect this year. Purpose is to allow small to medium-sized companies to be seen and around the world. Presenters are small to medium-sized enterprises based on innovative ocean and water technology, and as we say, if it's wet, it's blue. The audience is very broad because our companies have different kinds of needs. So it might be investors, management candidates, military, service providers, government agencies, others as well. The agenda is similar every month. We have a short introduction by somebody from Team A BlueTech. We have a featured speaker today. That will be Regina Bergner from the U.S. Coast Guard. And then each company will have a 10-minute presentation followed by moderated discussion and Q&A. Next, please. We announced this last month, but I would like to do it again, that we have joined together with Formoseano to create our foothold in Europe as TMA Europe. And it's great to be working with our partner Formoseano, which is the national BlueTech cluster of Portugal, and there will be opportunities for our member companies working together. Next, please. We also recently signed an MOU with the National Oceanography Center, which is essentially the National Ocean Center for the United Kingdom, and that will include benefits for visiting TMA members to Southampton. In particular, there's one wonderful conference known as Ocean Business there every 2 years, and so hopefully we'll be able to go with some of you. And then stay tuned for upcoming joint events. Next, please. So somebody is asking about whether the slides are advancing, and mine are advancing, just so everybody knows. The next announcement will be for our BlueTech Week, which is in November of 2021. The theme, you can tell we like themes, is Aqua Optimism, Inclusion, Inspiration, Innovation. And this is a recap at the bottom from our BlueTech Week 2020. Which was virtual like 2021 will be. We had great speakers, great topics, great contacts, 665 people from 37 countries. Next, please. So to our team, and particularly tomorrow, we lost 2 people late last year and early this year who did great work for us. We are now looking for an executive director. Tomorrow is actually in Texas at the moment, since we can't go into the office anyway, and we've want to welcome a new intern, Vanessa Tang, as well. So thank you to this great team that we can put on the events that we do. Next, please. So I'm not going to read this, nor should you, but this means that hopefully some of you are investors. You might invest in these great companies, but we're not giving any kind of legal or financial advice. Next, please. When you signed up, you gave us the right to send you material. It's very easy to unsubscribe if you want to, but this is the best way to find out about our TMA Global Connect, our BlueTech Global Connect events and other things we're doing. Next, please. So for all of you, all the attendees, please set your computer to mute and turn off your camera during presentations. The way you will present your questions is via the chat function, and we ask you to go ahead and get started whenever you're interested. So if somebody presents, you don't have to wait until the Q&A section. Just put your questions in the chat feature, and then hopefully we will be able to get to many of them as well. So again, set your computer to mute and turn off your camera during presentations. Thank you. Next, please. So I would like to introduce Regina Bergner, who is with the Environmental Standards Division at U.S. Coast Guard headquarters. It's always great to work with the Coast Guard. They're one of the amazing organizations known nationally and internationally for their work. And I think she'll tell us a little bit about what she is doing. And then when she is done, I'll take back the floor for just a few minutes, and then we will get started with the presentations at the top of the hour. So Regina, thank you very much for joining us, and I'll let you put up your presentation at this point. Perfect, we see it.
Okay, I'm going to go through this very quickly. When I told Tamara I would discuss regulations, she sighed an audible sigh as if nothing could be more boring. So I'm going to go through it really quickly. I think most of the people in this audience know that regulations help drive markets. So I'll give you an overview of what we regulate and where those are going. So very broad strokes on biofouling regulations. If you have a ballast water management plan, you have to have a biofouling management plan. Currently, the VGP applies, but that'll be replaced by VETA. VETA will require management of biofouling, hulls and niches, seawater piping, and chain locker effluents. So that will be regulated for the first time specifically. I'm in the Environmental Standards Division, and I run the R&D program for new issues related to pollution prevention and invasive species. There's a list of some of the publications that have come out of our funding. These were done by the Naval Research Lab in Key West. For you modelers out there, there's some information on the total wetted surface area of the world fleet. So we regulate it, we spend money on it. We also cooperate with other agencies. We're working with the Maritime Administration to develop standards. That is, how clean is clean for biofouling. There's a publication there that listed there that outlines the first stage of the R&D project. I also represent the U.S. on delegations to the International Maritime Organization. From a global perspective, I mean, the U.S. regulates it and spends money on it and partners with agencies. Well, internationally, biofouling is also a big issue. The world has already recognized that the biofouling guidelines need to be revised, and that's within 10 years of coming up with the first version. And there's also been some recognition of the problems with current AFS coatings, toxicity and microplastics. Somebody's banging something around in the background, I think. Sorry. And it's an issue for the globe now, and it's also an issue for industry. BIMCO and ICS have come out with a new standard that includes approvals for in-water cleaning, as well as the standard for how to manage your biofouling. This is the standard in very broad strokes. For you AFS manufacturers, you'll note that the standard requires communications with the anti-fouling system manufacturer. You also note under the approval procedures, criteria C and D, biocides will be have to be accounted for in the effluent. So that's about it. The slide at the beginning was biofouling on this ship, which is the NS Savannah in the Baltimore Harbor. It was one of the ships in the first phase of the MARAD study. It had probably been parked there since the 80s. So you can imagine the biofouling was pretty thick on that one. It's a very interesting mid-century modern nuclear powered vessel. So I encourage you to take the tour at that website. That's about all I have for now.
Wow, Regina, when we talked about tightening it up, you went full hog. That was less than 3 minutes. So thank you very much. What time we captured back we'll use in the Q&A. That's really wonderful. So thank you very much for that. So Tamara, if you'll bring back up the slides, our slides.
Delay.
So again, for all of our guests, if you could go on mute because some of you we're hearing rustling like your papers or things. So can you, yep, there we go. So next one, please. Thank you again, Regina. We'll look forward to you coming back as the moderator. So our companies presenting today are, as every month, we try and find 3 very innovative companies, 1 US company, and then 2 from other countries. The first company, and we always start with the company that's the furthest away. So unfortunately, Tamara, we've now lost the presentation.
I think someone else shared their screen. Give me just a moment.
Ah. Yeah, again, for the audience, please don't share your screens yet. We'll try and give some verbal commands along the way so we don't take away from each other. So our first company that's speaking was Propspeed. They are a New Zealand-based company, but active internationally, including the speaker today is from Bellingham, Washington, but they also happen to have somebody in San Diego. We are thrilled that they also became a member of Team A BlueTech late last year. Graphite Innovations and Technologies is a Canadian company, one that came to our BlueTech Week about 3 years ago. We appreciate always our partners in Canada. The Canadian consulate in particular in San Diego over the years has helped us meet a lot of great Canadian companies. And through our BlueTech Cluster Alliance, we also are partnered with one of the leading clusters in Canada, Oceans Advance. And then thirdly is SeaCoat Technology, which is located north of Houston, Texas, one of our most recent member companies. So there you have a New Zealand company, Canadian company, a US company, and every month it's different. Last month we had a company from Finland, one from Switzerland, and of course a US company. So we find great technologies around the world. Our goal is to hopefully allow those companies to meet each other and find ways to work together. And I think through our practice run 2 days ago, these 3 companies may well find ways that they will be able to collaborate, which we are hopeful of. But today we're really here talking to an international audience. And when Tamara looked, it looked like we had people from about 20 countries signed up today. So hopefully some of you will want to reach out to these 3 great companies. Each one will give a 10-minute presentation, and at the end we will have Q&A, which Regina will moderate from 8:30 to 9, and then we'll end right at 9 o'clock. Next, please. So one more, please. So here are the presenting companies, and we're going to start with Rusty Morgan from Propspeed.